Hi, Mr. B Self-Made here, aka Byron Cole. Um, so, as part of Mental Health Awareness Week, I'm going to be sharing with you during this video some of my experiences, both in business as an entrepreneur and also in my personal life as well. So, bear with me, okay? So, when I was looking at some of the stats and facts about mental health conditions, it was so surprising to me how many people have experienced a mental health condition in their life. And it was not surprising, but I guess, I was surprised to a degree that the numbers say that 70% of entrepreneurs have experienced a mental health condition. Now, when I think about it, when I looked at the list of things that are related to mental health conditions, I'm surprised it's not 100%. So I want to talk to you guys about that and spark the conversation. So when I looked at some of the things, we're talking about stress, anxiety, eating disorders, bipolar disorder. There are so many, uncertainty, social isolation. When I looked at that list, and I was like, there can't be an entrepreneur out there that has not experienced these things. Now, we experience these things in life, and everybody experiences it in a different capacity, and some people experience it and have reactions more severe than others. And I don't want to detract that away from people that are experiencing this on a huge level. But I think realistically, everyone, whether you're in your career or whether you're an entrepreneur, you experience this to a degree. But most definitely, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to face anxiety, you're going to face uncertainty, you're going to face social isolation. And you find this when people say, I'm not coming out, I can't see you because I'm on my hustle, I'm on my grind, I'm focusing at the moment, I can't socialize. So they're isolating themselves from the world. Anxiety and stress, it goes without saying, part and parcel of being an entrepreneur, right? I'm not saying that that's the way it should be, but that is the way that it is realistically. So when I looked at the list, I was like, this is incredible. And I have so many different experiences within starting my journey to where I am now that I can give you a 30-minute video. So I said, you know what? Let me take it to more of my personal life, okay? And entrepreneurs, just to bring it back to the entrepreneurship, we experience these things for a variety of different reasons. Sometimes when things change, sometimes when we can't achieve something, when we have obstacles in our way. Like, these are just experiences that we have, and then everybody's going to react to it slightly differently. And I'm going to talk about some of the ways in which I cope with dealing with stress, anxiety, uncertainty, which essentially is almost a daily occurrence being an entrepreneur, right? And again, as I say, some people will experience it more severely than others. But I want to talk to you about more of my personal life, okay? So those of you who know me, I have a little sister. She's going to be 21 this week. Wow. So when she was 2 or 3 years old, she had meningitis and she had both her hands and her feet amputated. Okay. So when you look at, and that was a majorly traumatic experience for me as a teenager at the time, because it was like, this is my little sister. She was tiny, right? This little human being, and like, that's my little sister there. I'm watching her go through this traumatic experience, but also it's traumatic for me and my mum. So when I looked at kind of the symptoms of PTSD, it was one of them was which stood out to me was not being able to feel emotions. Now, this is a really interesting thing because I am I have a massive heart. I'm that guy that will, if you're broken down, I'll come and help you. If I've got my last £10 and you need that, I'll do without, I'll find another way. Like, I want to help you achieve your goals, your dreams, etc., etc. Right? My heart and my desire to see people win is massive, but I lack the ability to feel emotions when something tragic happens. And I used to think that, I was like, why can I not cry like a normal person? Like, why do I not have certain emotions? And then I started thinking about it and doing a bit more reading, and I kind of have apportioned it to that majorly tragic experience. Because growing up, I was not emotional, but I was able to express emotions. And kind of that point thereon, where my sister was hospitalized and amputated, both hands, both feet. That was when, for me, I feel that I lost that ability to feel emotion. And I just wanted to just share that with you, because I feel that we don't talk about mental health conditions as much as we should, because everybody experiences it. And as an entrepreneur, I experience it massively. And early on in my journey, I would have had more of an impact on me than now, because it has almost become part of my day, a part of my life. But I have major coping mechanisms that make it almost just like it's nothing. And again, I don't want to detract away from people who experience. So I'm gonna just share with you really some of the tips, the techniques that I use to essentially just deal with my stress, deal with any anxieties that I have in business, and making really, really important decisions that have an impact on lots of different people and lots of people's lives, the uncertainty, and so on and so forth. And I just wrote down 4 very quick things, right? So number 1, many of you may know, I don't have emails to my phone. And I don't have emails to my phone for 2 reasons. Number 1 is about being effective with my time, which I won't go into now. But the second is, often when you get an email, every day that you get emails, some of them or most of them are not going to be positive. And by the time it comes to me, given the businesses that I'm in, when it gets to me, those issues are amplified and none of my team are able to deal with it, so I've got to deal with it, or my business partners are not able to deal with it, so they've looped me into something. So I don't have emails to my phone. That's one of my major reasons why I don't have emails to my phone. Because sometimes when you're in bed or when you're doing something, you get that email, that feeling, that stress, that anxiety that email has given you, it's like, that feeling. And sometimes there's nothing I can do. It's a Sunday night or Saturday night, nothing's open, I can't do anything about it. So all I'm going to do now is think about it until Monday morning. So I don't have emails to my phone for that reason. Second thing I do is I talk to my fellow entrepreneurs, business partners, partner, and I talk to them about what is happening. A, to find a solution, but B, I just find that sometimes when you talk about it, it just, they say a problem shared, right? Now, when I know that people find it very difficult to talk to people about their issues, but for me, I'm like, if you know me, I'm like very real. If you ask me, if you say, Byron, how are you? I'm going to give you the real reply as how I'm feeling. So, I'm very open about that with my really close friends, business partners, and so on and so forth. So I like to talk. That makes me feel a hell of a lot better. Next, the fitness thing, and again, my friends who know me, I'm not the guy who likes to run on the treadmill for 2 hours. But I love playing football. I love martial arts. I haven't been doing martial arts as much as I used to. But football is definitely one of those things where you can just take your mind out of the day-to-day life, and just focus on, playing football, releasing those endorphins, having a great time. And, it's proven that fitness is one of those things that is able to take your mind away from things and release those endorphins to give you that kick, right? Next thing on the list is, and this is a really interesting one, right? And I didn't realize I do it until I'm now articulating it. So I have a list of things that make me very, very, very happy, right? So now it's like when you're training for something, you need to read first of all and check your list. It's like your goals list, you have to check first of all. But because now they're just in my mind, I just do them automatically, right? So I have a list of things that make me happy, and that includes, I'll give you two really simple ones, right? Number one, traveling, and two, some food that my mum cooks, right? I don't know what it is, but if, I'm like, Mum, can you make that X, Y, and Z? Like, when you go and eat that food, you forget about everything. And sometimes it's not even the act of me going to eat it; it's the fact that I know she's making it for me on Friday, you know, or whenever it is, and I've got to go and pick it up or go and eat it with her and my sister. So I've got a list of things that I relate to being really, really happy. So whenever there's a major thing in my life that I'm experiencing, I just go and do one of those things. And sometimes it's just socializing with my friends or go visiting a particular friend's house or wherever it might be. But I've got a list that I just go to. But I now know it in my mind. So it's an easy go-to. So there are just some of the things that I use to overcome some of my mental health conditions, albeit they are very mild and not long term, but I think definitely it's a very easy way for people to implement into their lives to, you know, put them in a better place essentially. But, you know, this video isn't really about telling you what to do. It's really about me telling you how I overcome my mental health conditions that we all face, and sparking the conversation. And hopefully that's going to spark some conversations for you to have. So please, 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 I want you guys to talk about your mental health conditions. Tag me in. Don't forget the challenge, and use the hashtag Mr. B Self-Made Mental Health Challenge, and let's get talking. You know, this is now the norm. If 70% of all entrepreneurs experience it, that's normal. If you don't have a mental health condition, it might be abnormal. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble on, and please share your stories with me and the world, and let's not make this a stigma. Have a great day.